FNAF has had an interesting history with its teasers over the years. I mean, I remember how much of an event it used to be when one came out, and I always loved seeing others' initial reactions to it all when I could. I genuinely believe I have more fond memories of just the lead up to games rather than the actual games themselves, just because of the pure excitement of a new release paired with the amazing techniques creators use to build up that hype. That's not to say the actual games aren't good themselves. No, FNAF does well for a reason. They are absolutely phenomenal experiences on their own. But I truly think if you go into something without being there for the announcement trailers or the cryptic mysteries that hint to its initial release, then you're missing out on a lot of the experience. There are just so many game series I want to talk about when it comes to the art of teasing because they do so many interesting things that I just find so fascinating. For example, Poppy Playtime has this reputation of creating these amazing huge ARGs that hint at future installments, while Bendy and the Ink Machine kinda just lays low and the teasers are very subtle instead. I want to talk about both of these so much in the future and potentially make videos on them. But today I really want to just rant about FNAF's history of teasers because although it is the oldest of the bunch, still to this day it blows my mind with the type of ways it can build up hype and make me feel. And I just really need to yap about it already. Now, back in my day, all the teasers we ever got were from Scott's official site, Scott Games, and back then, all we were really ever given were basic images to hint at what's to come. Typically, these images would just simply showcase some characters or rooms the game would have, which is definitely cool, but it's not a lot, especially nowadays with the kind of teasers we get now. That's not to say Scott didn't get creative though. Sometimes he would make it to where if you brightened up the image, you'd see secrets or entirely new characters hidden away that we'd never even seen before. Sure, it's kind of a basic twist looking back at it, but it was enough to make 9-year-old me have an aneurysm, so it's pretty alright. An example that comes to mind that uses this trick was that one FNAF 2 teaser that initially revealed the puppet for the first time. At first glance, all it appeared to contain was just a random warning sign, but upon brightening things up, not only do you need a change of pants, but you also meet the marionettes. This was awesome. I mean, this trick was so iconic and well done that Scott literally did the exact same thing when teasing Nightmare On for FNAF 4's Halloween update. Except, this time it shows a Freddy plush, and your pants are pooped even more. Another fun trick Scott used to spice things up in his teasers were hiding literal secret messages inside the actual source code of the image. I still remember to this day all the theories and speculation that came from finding small things like the number 87 repeated constantly in the FNAF 4 teasers. People thought the game was hinting at and going to potentially finally show off the infinite spite of 87. Ultimately for it not to amount to anything, but it was still cool at the time, I promise.
But what's the 8787778 stand for? There's loads of 7s and loads of 8s here. 1987! It's got to be to do with 1987. It's got 87, 88, 7, 7, 8. Is that good? There's too many 8s and 7s there to be a coincidence. This has got to be to do with 1987 right here. Let's see what the picture saves as.
Another fun example of this trick being used was the one time when the Funtime animatronics went through divorce. At one point, a full-on conversation was just going on within the code of Scott's sites, and it was between many of the characters who made up internet at the time, just straight up arguing.
You know, I come to video games for escapism. I don't want to be reminded of reality. Cut that out.
Jokes aside though, this is still just so fascinating to me, and it was honestly a cool way for Scott to tell the story of Baby getting kicked out the Inner Club. Now for some honorable mentions. These are just teasers that I felt are relevant, and I want to talk about them because, you know, they're pretty big important parts of FNAF's history. This is a video about teasers. Why are you complaining? Stop complaining. Number 1. The lead up to FNAF World was pretty interesting. Just seeing all the cartoony characters slowly be revealed was just so cool and just really weird at the time, but it's just relevant to talk about. Next, there was that one time when Scott made everyone think Sister Location was cancelled due to some leaks that happened prior, releasing an image literally claiming all that was true, but ultimately just messing with the fans and making it part of the lore instead, which is honestly just really funny. Oh, yeah, and who could forget the fact that all of the teasers for FNAF 6 were total misdirects, hiding the actual game and making it seem like just some spin-off about serving pizzas. How Scott just hid this masterpiece from the world just is beyond me. Like, I seriously don't understand how a lack of hype led to the most hyped game in the series. I need answers. Speaking of needing answers, what was bro cooking with these? Like, I still do not know to this day what this is supposed to be. I'm legitimately scared. Like, Scott, you doing okay, buddy? Now, this next era of FNAF marked a turning point that was much different than what us in the fanbase were used to. For basically the first time ever, FNAF was in the hands of people other than Scott himself, and it was up to them to not only do the series justice, but also market their upcoming game, Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. Now, whether you like Security Breach or not, you as a fan can agree with me that the lead up to the game was definitely an experience. That could have been a good or bad one depending on how you saw things, but I myself do have fond memories from that time whenever we got new details, because we got a lot of new details a lot of the time. You see, Security Breach was initially announced in 2019 with a simple concept art image teasing it all. Similar to how Scott made teasers, Stillwell would initially release new looks at characters or locations with each new image, and it was very interesting. Though, the way they started to tease things got much broader and broader, with Security Breach eventually showcasing its own trailers in PlayStation's State of Plays, in turn opening it up to a much bigger audience. Stillwell definitely knew what they were doing with this move, and I'd argue that it was just as rewarding to the fans due to just the speculation and intrigue alone whether a trailer would be shown off or not.
I may have lost my temper earlier, but it was just a glitch. It won't happen again.
What's that up there? This is not FNAF. That's not FNAF.
It's been such a difficult day for
No.
all of us.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh no! Oh my god!
In case it wasn't obvious, the trailers were really good too. This game looked good, and not to mention it had a drastic change in quality to the original games. With each trailer we got, things just kept looking better and better, and we got another trailer, and then another, and then more teasers, and then more teasers. Okay, look, I don't want to talk about the actual game of Security Breach in this video because that's not what this video is about. It's about the teasers. But I feel like in order to fully understand why the Security Breach era was so strange, I'm gonna need to give some context real quick. So yeah, Security Breach got delayed a lot during its development due to just not being ready in any states it would be in. But during that long wait, Stillwell had to, keep the fanbase interested and keep them wanting more and more. So they kept making more teasers and kept giving more hints and kept making more trailers that kept getting grander and grander. Eventually, it got to the point that Scott himself had to make an entirely different spin-off game to poke fun at the delays and pray that people wouldn't kill him. It was tough, but I think that the main problem of all it was the huge oversaturation of content being used to satisfy the fans. Like I said, all the way back in 2019, the game got its first teasers, but the problem was not only were those just concept art images, not even finished products of any kind, but because you showed off something far too soon, people immediately began to just expect more and more information after that. So yeah, they kept revealing more and more and putting a lot of their time into the marketing of the game, which admittedly, at the time as a fan, was amazing because we were getting what we wanted, but at the end of the day, I think they just showed off a bit too much. Closer to the game's release, they began to change things up again, believe it or not, and began to release these VHS recordings of an old show by the name of Freddy and Friends. A new episode would release every 2 weeks or so, and with each new installment, a number would be added to the date, eventually revealing when the game would finally be released. Now, if I'm being completely honest, I love these things. I mean, like, waiting every 2 weeks just to find out more stuff about a game hidden in a charming Scooby-Doo styled cartoon based on Freddy's was just so fun and, like I said, charming. But unfortunately though, yet again this stuff had the case of telling far too much. Within the episodes there were glitches of destroyed staff bots, the main animatronics themselves being shattered, and even the blob made an appearance. Sure, it's all subtle and there's no way anyone could tell what a singular black tentacle was going to be, but I still feel like this should have been, like, I don't know, kept secret? Let me ask you a question. If the game would have been delayed again, what would be next? Just straight up reveal him? That's like if Scott revealed one of the glowing heads from the FNAF 3 bad ending just in a trailer. Like I get that, like, you wouldn't be able to tell what it was from, but just why? Once again, and I know I've just said this already many times, but at the time this was very cool. It kept people theorizing and intrigued, which was definitely what they were aiming to do, but no doubt it was a lot to be revealed. I mean, if you think about it, Scott barely showed anything when it came to his teasers and trailers. Heck, his Sister Location trailer is still called, to this day, Sister Location Trailer 1, and there was never a second trailer. But anyways, what I'm just really trying to say with all this is that less, in terms of FNAF, less is more. And you might not agree with that, but you gotta think about it. When it comes to the story FNAF, we don't have much information. That's why the theorizing community of this game is so big. And then we have the games. The first few games were very basic experiences, but those are the games that got this franchise popular in the first place. Less is more when it comes to FNAF, and I believe that is the case with Teasers too. And I think Steel will figure that out when it came to working on their next projects. Congratulations, you've officially made it to present day. Thank you. Well, kinda. It's just, with most of Steelwool's more recent projects, there's been a noticeable pattern being done when it comes to teasing an upcoming game. So, I'm gonna just fit this all into one section, and it's gonna be called Present Day, and you're going to deal with it. Yay. But anyways, it's obvious that they've most likely learned to take things slow from now on, and it's very apparent. Ruin, Security Breach's free DLC, only got one teaser image along with a singular trailer for its experience. And all that Help Wanted 2 got was an initial announcement trailer followed by a proper one down the line showing off actual gameplay. This right here is blatant improvement on full display, and it's the same thing for their upcoming release, Secret of the Mimic, which we've only seen a short announcement trailer of as of writing this. Aren't you forgetting something? No, stupid! Cause who could forget the PAX West events that Steel have been hosting to promote their games? Hey, so yeah, remember when I said less is more when it comes to FNAF? Yeah, I know I'm a hypocrite. It's just so cool. Steel has no right going out of their way and doing all this for what's basically a demo showcase. Which, for the record, that's the only reason why I'm okay with this. Demos are a common thing to be made for games, and if they want to know what people think about their experience, then so be it, as long as that means I get a better game at the end of the day. Plus, it's not like the amazing statues and animatronic decorations spoil anything really important or reveal too much. I mean, they're just like stupid, charming fun. I love it. I really hope they keep doing these in the future, cause I just really want to visit one of these one day. And not even for like the actual chance to play a new FNAF game early, but for the ambience and just to check out all the cool things alone. Just up close, be there, and just experience that. Once again, Steelwool has no right doing all this for us fans. They have no right to be doing all this, but they do it anyways, and it keeps putting stupid smiles on my face, and I respect that, okay? But anyways, that has been the strange and kinda summarized history of FNAF's teasers/reveals over the many years the series has gone on. And it's just been so fun looking back at old memories and just reminding myself why I love the series so much and why it gets me so hyped. This video is very fun to make, and I hope that you enjoyed it, and if you did, please let me know in the comments because I would love to know. I love the support. And if you have a series that you want me to cover in the future about like the teasers and stuff, let me know too. I plan on I most likely will make videos on Bendy and Poppy someday because they also have interesting, history when it comes to this kind of stuff. And I'm really invested into those too. So, if you want to see that, just please let me know. It's been great having you. Thank you so much for watching, and I guess I'll see you later. Bye.